Hello everyone, we are from Tutorial 1 Group 4. Today, we are presenting about Chapter 12, Understanding Leadership. This is the list of our group members. Rosalind Yong Sining, Muhammad Afsaruddin Rusyaidi bin Muhammad AFFENDI, Nur Safiyya binti Abdul Latif, and Nathaniel JEEVAN Raj anak laki Anthony Wilson. Next, we have Nur IRDINA FARZANA binti SYAHIRUL NIZAM, HASYA ERISA binti HALIMI, IFFAH NABILAH binti ABDUL KAMIL, and lastly, MASTURINA IZZATI binti KAMARUZAMAN.
Good day, I'm Nathaniel, and I'll be walking you through question 1, where I'll be providing you with definitions on what leader and leadership is, and let's discuss on why managers should be leaders. Firstly, let's look at the definition of a leader. A leader is an individual who possesses the ability to influence others and holds a managerial authority, guiding teams towards success. Next, what is leadership? Leadership is the process of leading a group and influencing its members to achieve common goals involving motivation and the direction. Next, why do managers have to be leaders? Because it is effective that leadership is the key management function that boosts team performance and drives goal achievement. Next, let's look at question 2, where we'll find out, based on the behavioral theory of leadership, how does the behavior of one leader differ from that of other leaders? Differences of leadership behavior based on the behavioral theory includes leadership styles, where leaders use different styles to lead, such as democratic or autocratic. Research shows that democratic leaders create more satisfaction among group members. Next, we have task and people focus. Leaders can be either task oriented or people oriented. Studies indicate that those who balance both can achieve better performance and satisfaction, but this isn't always the case. Thirdly, and finally, adaptability. Effective leaders adapt their behavior based on the situation and team needs, which help improve productivity and team morale.
My name is Rosin Yong Sining with metric number 24004640. I will be presenting question 12.3, which is Leaders are born, not made. Do you agree with this statement? Why or why not? Our group's opinion is that we do not agree with the previous statement. One of the main reasons we disagree is because we believe there's a difference between the concept of nature and nurture. While evidence has shown that there does exist a group of people who seemingly portray natural leadership traits, but that is not the only way for someone to develop leadership traits. Instead, these leadership traits can be taught or nurtured to others. It can even be said that a natural born leader who does not continue nurturing their leadership traits would be a less effective leader compared to someone who wasn't born exhibiting these traits but have devotedly learned and nurtured themselves into being a leader. Besides that, it is a known fact that the traits theories of leadership are not proven as of today. The trait theories of leadership are theories that isolate characteristics or traits that differentiate leaders from non leaders. If this theory was true, all leaders would evidently possess unique traits and characteristics that would always differentiate them from individuals who are not leaders. However, research efforts have failed to prove this to be true. In contrast, researchers have instead been able to identify traits that are associated with the process of leadership, demonstrating that people are not born as leaders, but rather develop the relevant traits that allows themselves to become effective leaders through the leadership process. Finally, the last point as to why leaders are made, not born, is because leadership traits can be learned. This refers to the 8 traits that are commonly associated with the process of leadership, namely drive, desire, lead, honesty and integrity, self confidence, intelligence, job relevant knowledge, extraversion, and proneness to guilt. The main difference between these leadership traits and the supposed personality traits that natural born leaders possess is that these traits can be learned and nurtured by everyone, regardless of their personality. As a result, a person who never displayed the inherent qualities of a leader will still be able to transform into an effective leader if they successfully embody these leadership traits. That will be all for this question. I will now pass the floor to the next presenter.
Hello, greetings everyone. My name is Afsaruddin, and today we are going to dive into this fascinating topic, which is situational leadership theory, SLT, to answer this question. So this theory shows how a leader's success depends on their ability to adapt to their followers' readiness, meaning their ability and willingness to complete tasks. So let us explore how leaders can adjust their style to drive success. So, let us start with the big question. What makes a leader effective? So, according to situational leadership theory, developed by Hersey and Blanchard, the answer is adaptability. Effective leaders adjust their style to match their followers' readiness, that is their ability, which is skill level, and willingness, or other term we call it motivation. So, here's a quick example that we can give. Imagine a new employee who is eager but unskilled. So they need guidance. But on the other hand, a seasoned team member may prefer more autonomy. So SLT gives leader a roadmap to adapt to both situations and everything in between. Okay, so now let us dive into the core of SLT, which is its 4 leadership styles, which each of them is suited to different level of readiness. So, for the first one, which is telling, it is for a high task and low relationship. What it means by is for those followers who are unable and unwilling. Leaders give clear instruction and close supervision to them. Like for example, a new hire learning basic tasks. So for second is selling. It is for a high task and high relationship. So for followers who are unable but willing, leaders provide guidance and encouragement. Like for example, training an intern who is unmotivated but inexperienced. So for the third point is to participating. So it is for the low task and high relationship. So for followers who are able but unwilling, leaders collaborate and provide support. Like for example, a skilled employee who may be disengaged and needs motivation. And for the fourth is to delegate. It is for the low task and low relationship. So for followers who are able and willing, leaders give them an autonomy. So a trusted team member managing a project independently is one of the examples for that. So these styles highlight how leaders can tailor their approach to the situation of their followers. Okay, so now why does SLT emphasizes followers' readiness? So it is actually really simple to this. Matching leadership style to readiness leads to a better outcome. How can we say this? So, for example, a new unskilled employee needs the telling style to succeed. And on the other hand, a skilled but unmotivated team member strives with the participating style. By understanding the readiness, leaders can build trust, improve performance, and foster stronger teams. So to conclude, situational leadership theory actually gives leader a clear, adaptable framework. So the key takeaway from this question is that adaptability is the hallmark of great leadership. By matching their style to their followers' ability and willingness, leaders can achieve better results and build a stronger teams. So thank you. Now we will be going to the next question.
The next question asking about, do you think that the most managers in real life use the contingency approach to increase their leadership effectiveness? First and foremost, we need to know that what is the meaning of contingency approach, where management concept that such as the best strategy or action varies depending on the situation rather than following a fixed method. So whether yes or no, the answer is yes. Many managers use the contingency approach because it aligns with the complexities of the real-world leadership, where no single strategy or style can address every situation effectively. Instead, it emphasizes flexibility, adaptability, and situational awareness, where allowing managers to address challenges and team dynamics effectively. The next is why most managers use the contingency approach is the flexibility in the leadership. So effective managers understand that no single leadership style works universally. So they adjust their approach depending on the factors such as team dynamics, where for a highly skilled and independent team, a delegative style might be more effective, while a directive style may be necessary for less experienced teams. The second is the task complexity, where simple, repetitive tasks might require a transactional approach, where complex, creative tasks might benefit from transformational leadership. And the last one is the organizational goals, where managers align their leadership with the company's strategic objective, ensuring their style support the mission. And the next factors is the responsiveness to situational factors, where this approach equips managers to address diverse and evolving scenarios like in crisis management, such emergency where managers adopt a more authoritarian style to make a quick, decisive action. Also, cultural sensitivity, where managers leading diverse teams often to adapt their communication and leadership style to respect cultural differences and build stronger connection. The next is it can enhance the team performance, where the contingency approach allows managers to tailor their strategy to individual team members, boosting morale and productivity by motivation, where recognizing the unique needs of each team member so that managers can provide personalized support, whether through coaching, recognition, or autonomy. Also, conflict resolution, where flexibility enables managers to choose the best method to address disputes, whether through collaboration, compromise, or authoritative decision.
Let's head to case study 1. I'm Hasha ERISA binti Halimi, and I'll be summarizing case application 1, success theatre at General Electric, with the topic football focus in 10 points. Let me introduce to you the Federation Internationale de Football Association, the international self-regulatory governing body of association football, beach soccer, and futsal. It was founded in 1904 to oversee international competition. Firstly, the FIFA scandal, where FIFA faced a series of scandals rocked it to its foundations and loses trust from many parties. Secondly, football is not just a sport, it is a very big business. The estimated revenue for the UK Premiership alone for the 2016-17 season at $4.5 billion. Next, FIFA is responsible in managing the bidding process for countries wishing to host the World Cup, where countries spend millions of dollars preparing their bids, expecting a fair and transparent process. Other than that, for the current two events, allegations were made that countries had colluded to trade votes, which Blatter, the president of FIFA, confirmed in 2011, promising an internal investigation. Sepp Blatter and FIFA tried to answer their critics by employing Michael J. Garcia, an American attorney. Moving on to the next slide, here are the next 4 points in summarization of case study 1. Things went bad to worse for FIFA at the 2015 FIFA annual meeting in Zurich, Switzerland, when 7 FIFA officials were arrested in what was the culmination of an investigation lasting several years. On to the next point, Sepp Blatter was re-elected as president that same year, but after only 4 days, he announced his intention to resign. Seventh point explains the proceedings against Blatter opened by the Swiss prosecutors over a number of financial irregularities, including a disloyal payment to Michel Platini, his possible replacement as president. Following the situation, the FIFA Ethics Committee banned both Blatter and Platini from all football-related activity for 8 years. Let's move on to the remaining summary of case study 1. In the last paragraph, the appointment of a new president took place in 2016, where Gianni Infantino was appointed as the new president. Last but not least, at the same year, more important changes were made focusing on accountability and transparency in FIFA to rebuild trust with clubs, countries, players, and fans. Question 12.11. What does the number of senior FIFA executives being investigated say about the culture at FIFA? The number of senior FIFA executives being investigated say that FIFA has the culture of corruption and lack of accountability. Numerous officials, including the president, have been practicing the unethical behavior and misuse of power over many years. It suggests that corruption was common or even normalized for a long time, causing damaged trust in the organization, and major reforms are required to rebuild transparency and credibility.
Next question, before start, my name is NABILAH binti Abdul Kamil, and we will discuss question 12 of the 8 suggestions for building trust. Which do you think should have been the focus for FIFA? Think about Michael J. Garcia's report. Suggestions to build trust, which FIFA should do, is transparency, about being open and honest. FIFA should have published the full Garcia report instead of hiding or summarizing it. Second, responsibility means holding individuals responsible for unethical or illegal action. FIFA need to punish the people involved in scandal, including senior leader. Third, communication. FIFA need to communicate clearly, proactively about how it was fixing problem. Instead, FIFA remained silent or dismissive, which made people lost trust about that. Question 12-13. What does the case say about Blatter's style of leadership? Blatter's style of leadership. First, authoritarian leadership. Blatter was re-elected despite growing concerns about corruption. He focused on maintaining his power rather than fixing issues. Second, dismissive and secretive. When faced with serious allegations, e.g. 2011 financial irregularities, Blatter downplayed or dismissed the concerns. He refused to address problems transparently, showed a lack of responsibility. Third, lack of integrity and accountability. Blatter's leadership failed to demonstrate integrity. Instead of addressing corruption, he protected individuals and allowed unethical behavior to persist. Blatter just focused on short-term on managing FIFA public image, because if he focused on long-term, it will damage his reputation.
Hi, my name is MASTURINA IZZATI, and let's take a look at 12-14 questions. So, in 2011, when asked about the crisis at FIFA around the rumors of financial irregularities, Blatter downplayed the allegation dismissively. Which of the 5 dimensions of trust do you think Blatter was failing to demonstrate here? Let's discuss. As we know, research has identified 5 dimensions that make up the concept of trust: integrity, competence, consistency, loyalty, and openness. And to demonstrate his primary failure was integrity. And yeah, integrity is about honesty and truthfulness by diminishing serious allegations of financial irregularities. Blatter created an impression that he prioritized preserving his own position and FIFA's image over addressing corruption, and this likely damaged stakeholders' trust in his ability to lead transparently. Another dimension where Blatter fell short was competence. So competence all about technical and interpersonal knowledge and skills by how their ability to handle crises effectively. Blatter's dismissiveness suggested an ability or unwillingness to take the necessary step to protect FIFA from corruption and ensure fairness in its operation. Besides, this neglect allowed systematic issues to fester, further damaging FIFA's reputation. Last but not least, loyalty. That means willingness to protect a person physically and emotionally. Instead of prioritizing FIFA's integrity and reputation, Blatter appeared more concerned with maintaining his position and deflecting criticism. This indicates a lack of loyalty to organization's broader mission of promoting fair play and transparency.
For Infantino to succeed, what style of leadership do you think would be the most effective?
My name is SAFIYYA. Now, on to the last question for case number 1. For Infantino to succeed, What style of leadership would be the most effective? The answer is participative leadership. Why participative leadership? The first point is rebuilding trust. FIFA has lost the trust of its stakeholders, National Football Association, fans, sponsors, and even governments. This is due to years of corruption, lack of transparency, and unethical practices. So, how participative leadership helps rebuilding the lost trust? Infantino could implement mechanisms such as public consultations on reforms, where stakeholders can review and provide input on decisions related to governance or financial oversights. By involving stakeholders in decision-making, FIFA signals its commitment to transparency and ethical governance. When people are included in shaping key decisions, such as the bidding processes and tournament structures, they are less likely to suspect hidden agendas. Next is encouraging input. Stakeholders are diverse, including the football federations, clubs, players, fans, and sponsors. Each group has unique priorities and concerns, so how participative leadership can help. Infantino could establish advisory councils composed of representatives from each stakeholder group to discuss reforms like financial transparency or the fair distribution of tournament revenues. Engaging these groups in meaningful discussion ensures their concerns are heard and addressed, leading to more informed and inclusive decisions. This approach also reduces resistance to changes, since people are more likely to support the decision they help to shape. On to the next point, improving commitment. After years of mistrust, FIFA needs its stakeholders to actively support and implement reforms, whether it's improving governance at local levels or ensuring fair play during tournaments. So how this leadership help? Infantino could host regional meetings where stakeholders work collaboratively to identify key issues and create localized action plans that align with FIFA's broader goals. People are more likely to commit changes and policies when they feel their opinions and contributions are valued. It makes them to feel responsible for the success of FIFA's reforms. Therefore, it builds moral and reduces and creates a stronger sense of community among stakeholders. How participative leadership different from other approaches? Directive leadership is an authoritarian style where leaders give clear, explicit instruction and expect followers to comply without much discussion or input. It works well in situations requiring quick decision. Participative leadership, on the other hand, takes a collaborative approach. Instead of just giving orders, the leader seeks input and build consensus from team members, stakeholders, or even followers. This encourages active involvement in decision-making. This transparency and collaboration fosters a sense of ownership and accountability, which can repair FIFA's damaged reputation. To compare with achievement-oriented leadership, achievement-oriented leadership emphasizes goal setting and outcomes. Leaders in this style focus on pushing teams to achieve high performance. Participative leadership, however, focuses not just on giving the end goal, but on the process of getting there. It prioritizes the involvement of all relevant parties and ensures their voices are heard throughout the process. So, to highlight, participative leadership differs from other approaches by valuing collaboration over authority and prioritizing the process over results. This approach is particularly suitable for organizations like FIFA, where trust, transparency, and inclusivity are critical for success.
Next, I will be presenting the case summary 2, Developing Gen Y Leaders, with the topic Serving Up Leaders. During Alex Ferguson's 26-year career from 1986 to 2013, Manchester United Football Club won 38 domestic and non-domestic trophies, showcasing their excellent success. Nonetheless, along with this success, Ferguson was closely scrutinized by both local and international media, who were fascinated by his uniquely aggressive leadership style. Incidents of him shouting at his players in dressing rooms and terminating the contract of the captain that publicly criticized his teammates portrayed him as an aggressive and fearsome leader. At the beginning of his career with Manchester United, Ferguson had a clear strategy for a long-term success, which included restructuring the club's culture, fostering a strong work ethic, and increasing the players' sense of belonging. Despite their different approaches, Ferguson and Steve Jobs were compared for their successful, focused, and motivated leadership styles in highly competitive industries. However, Jobs generally had a more blunt and direct approach, whereas Ferguson would vary his managing style by adapting to the demands of each of his players. Ferguson's management style was said to be arbitrary and inconsistent, but it came from a thorough knowledge of his team and the best way to get most out of each player. Ferguson used an excellent strategy. He did not hesitate to instill discipline in the players when it was necessary to ensure a positive working relationship. Ferguson also knew and interacted with support personnel, understanding the value of everyone in the organization by learning their names and personally talking to them, which showed his attention to details. Following his departure from Manchester United, Ferguson went on to teach at Harvard Business School and released the book Leading in 2015, which provided his perspectives on successful leadership. This will be all for summary case 2. I will now pass the floor to the next presenter.
What leadership theories do you feel Ferguson's actions support? What leadership theory does Ferguson support? The answers are situational leadership theory and also transformational leadership theory. Why situational leadership theory? The first reason is because the tough discipline. Ferguson was known for using an authoritarian approach in moments of underperformance or lack of focus. For example, the text mentioned him shouting at players in the dressing room, a method so intense it was famously called the hairdryer treatment. This approach worked well when players required immediate correction or motivation. It was effective for keeping high standards and ensuring accountability in a highly competitive environment. Next is empathy and relationship building. Ferguson also demonstrated a softer, more relational approach when needed. The case described how he took time to know the names and roles of the club's support staff, emphasizing that the organization was larger than just the players. This participative emphatic style built trust and loyalty, showing his adaptability to situations requiring unity and moral building. The third one is varying leadership with player needs. Ferguson terminated a captain's contract when he publicly criticized teammates, demonstrating a no-tolerance policy for behavior that disrupted team harmony. On the other hand, he supported players' development, addressing challenges like instilling professionalism in young talent and eliminating destructive habits such as the club drinking culture. Ferguson understood when to apply strict measures and when to support or mentor players. For example, younger or less experienced players needed more guidance, while veterans required autonomy. Next is why transformational leadership theory. First reason is challenging the status quo. Upon joining Manchester United, Ferguson tackled the damaging drinking culture among players, a difficult but necessary step to transform the club. Next is why transformational leadership theory. First reason is challenging the status quo. Upon joining Manchester United, Ferguson tackled the damaging drinking culture among players, a difficult but necessary step to transform the club. For example, he demanded a strong work ethic such as being the first to arrive at the training ground and last to leave, setting the standard for others to follow. Next is motivating high performance. Ferguson consistently set high expectations for his players, foster a culture of discipline and determination. For example, the hairdryer treatment was used strategically to push players to their best during moments of underperformance. Last one is building a legacy. Ferguson's focus was not just on immediate success, but also building a foundation for sustained excellence. His influence extended to mentoring players and preparing them to take leadership roles within the team. For example, many of Ferguson's players such as Ryan Giggs or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer transitioned into coaching roles, carrying forward his leadership role.
The next question asks, what leadership traits do you see being demonstrated in the case? The first leadership trait is determination. Ferguson's determination is evident in his relentless pursuit of success, both on and off the field. He transformed Manchester United by addressing the drinking culture and instilling a strong work ethic. His refusal to settle for mediocrity, even when facing challenges or criticism, shows his unwavering commitment to achieving a long-term success for the club. The second one is emotional intelligence, that's seen in his deep understanding of his players' personality and needs. He knew when to push players to their limits and when to offer encouragement. His ability to build a strong relationship with players and staff, from learning their names to offering personal support, create a loyal and motivated team. His emotional intelligence helped him navigate conflicts and maintain a positive team dynamic. The third one is adaptability, where Ferguson demonstrated in his leadership style, tailoring his approach to fit the needs of different players. For example, he used the hair dryer treatment with some players, but took a more supportive approach with others, understanding that different individuals respond to different types of leadership. The last one is the vision, where Ferguson's long-term vision for Manchester United was crucial to his success. He didn't just focus on the short-term victories, but worked to build a sustainable winning culture at the club. His effort to change the club culture, promote discipline and instill pride in representing Manchester United were all part of his broader vision for the club's future success.
Next question is, to what degree has emotional intelligence played a part in Alex Ferguson's success? So basically, emotional intelligence refers to a leader's ability to understand and manage their own emotions, while also effectively understand and influencing the emotion to others. So first is self-awareness. Ferguson displayed a high level of self-awareness, particularly in understanding his role as a leader who set the tone for the club. For instance, he understood when to use aggressive tactics and when to adapt his approach to suit individual players or situations. This reflects his deep awareness of his impact on the team dynamics. Then we have self-regulation. While Ferguson was known for his fiery personality, he also showed remarkable control in managing his reaction. For example, after disciplining players, he would immediately move on, ensuring that conflicts were resolved quickly and relationships remained positive. This balance of discipline and composure exemplified effective self-regulation. I'm thinking about motivation, but instead of motivation, empathy is one of the strongest indicators of Ferguson's success. He was known for understanding his players and their unique needs. As noted in the case, Ferguson varied his approach by being tough with some players while taking a more supportive role with others. This tailored leadership style demonstrates a deep understanding of individual differences and the importance of emotional connection.
Hello everyone, once again, now for this last question, we are going to explore the challenges that arise when leaders adjust their leadership styles for individual players. So, while flexibility is often seen as a strength as we discussed, it can also create a significant risk that harm team dynamics. So by the end of this presentation, we will understand these challenges and learn how to balance flexibility with fairness for better team cohesion. Okay, so now let us take a look at the key challenges that leaders may face when varying their leadership approaches. So first thing first is inconsistency in expectation. So when leadership styles vary, players may feel unclear about what is expected for them. For example, one player might receive constant feedback while another one gets a little guidance. So this inconsistency creates confusion and impacts their performance. Second is perceived favoritism. So treating players differently can lead to perceptions of favoritism. Like for instance, if a star player gets more autonomy or more attentions, others may feel undervalued. So this can lower morale and create divisions within the teams. So third is to undermining team unity. So different treatment can make players feel they are not part of the same group. Without a sense of unity, collaboration and communication suffer in the groups, which affects entire team's performance. And fourth is the lack of trust and fairness. So if leadership feels unpredictable, players may lose trust in their leaders. They might perceive decision as unfair, leading to resentment and disengagement. And for the last point is that over-reliance on certain players. Focusing too much on maybe one or two star player in the team can result in over-reliance. This not only put pressure on those individuals but also limits the growth and opportunity for the rest of the team. Okay, so now let us consider an example. Like imagine a basketball coach who tailors their leadership approach based on individual players. So they give the star player more autonomy and focus on their strength while closely supervising the new players. So at first, this seems effective. But however, over time, the other player notice the star receiving special treatment. This creates a tension and resentment among the team. Players start focusing on individual competition instead of the teamwork, which harms the team's morale and performance. So this highlights how varying leadership style, if not balanced, can divide a team rather than uniting it. So, have you ever seen or experienced something similar in your own team? So can you think of it like what was the result? So, in conclusion, while varying leadership, as we discussed, approaches can address individual needs, they also come with a risk. Like inconsistency, favoritism, as we discussed, and a lack of trust can harm team cohesion and performance. So, the key takeaway for this presentation of question, leaders must balance flexibility with fairness and consistency. So by treating all players with equal respect and maintaining clear expectation, leaders can build stronger, more unified team. Okay, so now let us consider an example. Like imagine a basketball coach who tailors their leadership approach based on individual players. So they give the star player more autonomy and focus on their strength while closely supervising the new players. So at first, this seems effective. But however, over time, the other player notice the star receiving special treatment. This creates a tension and resentment among the team. Players start focusing on individual competition instead of the teamwork, which harms the team's morale and performance. So this highlights how varying leadership style, if not balanced, can divide a team rather than uniting it. So, have you ever seen or experienced something similar in your own team? So can you think of it like what was the result? So, in conclusion, while varying leadership, as we discussed, approaches can address individual needs, they also come with a risk. Like inconsistency, favoritism, as we discussed, and a lack of trust can harm team cohesion and performance. So, the key takeaway for this presentation of question, leaders must balance flexibility with fairness and consistency. So by treating all players with equal respect and maintaining clear expectation, leaders can build stronger, more unified team. So, in conclusion, while varying leadership, as we discussed, approaches can address individual needs, they also come with a risk. Like inconsistency, favoritism, as we discussed, and a lack of trust can harm team cohesion and performance. So the key takeaway for this presentation of question, leaders must balance flexibility with fairness and consistency. So by treating all players with equal respect and maintaining clear expectation, leaders can build stronger, more unified team.
That's all for our discussion today. Thank you so much for your patience. Bye.